Tommy Fury and Jake Paul are set to face off in a grudge fight, and there are a bunch of rumors and fix accusations going around. But before I get to that, let's take a look at how the rivalry started. The YouTuber turned professional boxer Paul has definitely fought with a bunch of great athletes over the past couple of years, but a big chunk of his opponents never even boxed professionally before they faced him. On the other hand, Tommy Fury hadn't fought with anyone of real pedigree either. In fact, their rivalry points back to his older brother, the WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. Right after Tommy grabbed an epic win against Scott Williams in London, Tyson shared a meme to support him. And let's just say, it might have also been to help with his brother's reach. To be specific, he posted a screen grab of viewing figures. That basically implied that about 1.9 million viewers out there were watching Tommy's fight. Meanwhile, all of the other fights on the same night barely managed to cross 100,000 views. That isn't so bad, right? Well, there was just one problem with that. The screen grab was fake. And like any other high school bully, Jake didn't waste a second to mock Tyson for having to share fake information. And we already know about the Gypsy King's anger, now don't we? He dared Jake to fight his brother. And since then, the two reality stars have been wrapped up in a bunch of online threats against each other. But clearly, that wasn't bad enough to spark the rivalry we see today. Clearly, along the way, something else happened. Well, let's just say Jake hit Tommy with a low blow when he brought another person into the rivalry, his girlfriend, Molly May Hague. According to Jake, she sent him a direct message on Instagram back in October 2018, saying, "I might be coming to America later this year and have always been a fan of your videos. Maybe you can show me around?" And it seems like she followed it up with a white heart emoji, along with a face licking its lip emoji. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty flirtatious to me. And, of course, Tommy, who was fuming at the allegation, that's right, allegation, because it didn't take long for Hague to step in and announce the message as fake. In fact, she pointed out that the white heart emoji in the message wasn't even officially active until 3 months after the alleged message was sent. Not cool, Jake. Needless to say, the Fury brothers took it upon themselves to post a video filled with threats directed toward Paul. But fast forward to the next couple of months, and it was filled with threats and shots at each other back to back. And that only seemed to add fuel to the fire. But the next jabs came in when Jake took it to social media again. This time, it was a response to one of Tommy's party posts. Basically, he was shirtless and sort of gesturing to a crowd of students as he sat in the VIP area, partying in the UK. And Jake decided to mock the fighter again by reposting it with the caption, "Molly May Hague, come get your boy," followed up with a vomit emoji. In fact, he even said that if someone ever caught him shirtless at a club doing the same thing, someone needed to pull him out of there immediately. But enough with the petty threats. Everyone was getting pretty sick of it. I mean, if it's not gonna lead to a fight, then what's the point? Well, Paul tried negotiating a $1 million deal with Fury, but he turned it down. And with that, the YouTuber turned boxer thought that fight was dead once and for all. In fact, Fury and his father said that a fight of this magnitude was worth far more than that. But here's the deal they did agree on. If the fight ever happens and Fury wins, his rival will have to pay up to $500,000. But if he loses, he's gonna have to change his name to Tommy Fumbles. Although it's not really an officially signed deal, the handshake agreement's gotta count for something, right? Well, at least we keep our hopes up for the fight. The official date is out, get ready because the rivals are gonna touch gloves on February 26th in Saudi Arabia, but they still can't get over the trash talk and cryptic messages. In fact, not too long ago, Fury left a pretty explicit drawing for Paul after their fight was confirmed. Right when he arrived at the venue with his brother Tyson, the former Love Islander saw a pretty huge picture of his rival on a fight poster for the event. And that's when he thought about trying his hand at art. As he walked away, he flipped a finger at the picture. Clearly, the tensions are gonna be pretty high in February when we finally see them in the ring. On the other hand, the 23-year-old also insisted that he's focused on business. In fact, he's set to knock out his rival to call a premature halt to his time as a professional fighter. After a bunch of failed attempts to bring Tommy in the ring, the moment of truth has finally arrived. But there aren't going to be any excuses left in February now. If anything, a bunch of fans even thought that the Fury family might be ditching the fight because they think Tommy isn't ready. On the other hand, fans aren't too sure about Jake either. In fact, he's got a bunch of fixing allegations to face. Sure, there isn't any substantial evidence to support those claims, but a bunch of big names out there have talked about it. And I mean MMA fighters like Paddy Pimblett and Dylan Dennis. As for the YouTuber turned boxer, he called these comments pathetic and stupid. On top of that, he even pointed out that a bunch of people would need to be involved for something like this, especially broadcasters. But what about Fury? People wanted to know whether he'd be one of those alleged opponents ready to take dives. But while he couldn't really comment on Paul's previous fights, he confirmed that his own bout didn't have anything fishy going on. Having said that, the stakes are pretty high on this one. Tyson Fury is gonna leave his brother in Saudi Arabia if he doesn't grab a win. Clearly, there's a lot riding on this fight. After all, the rivalry dates back to a couple of years ago, and along the way, there have been some low blows between the two rivals. And this fight is gonna put an end to this once and for all. In fact, before the actual scheduled clash, Fury even agreed on a 100,000-pound bet that his brother was gonna beat the faux rival, Paul. Having said that, while the Fury family isn't interested to see him again if he loses, they're also pretty confident that defeat is simply not an option. On the other hand, there's a question fans are itching to ask. Will Jake make him get the same tattoo Tyron Woodley had? Let me jog your memory. When Tyron lost, he had to get an "I love Jake Paul" tattoo on his finger. And even though the ink has faded by now, the boxer still appreciates the effort and commitment. But I can't help but think if he'd ask Tommy to get the same if he wins, especially considering the fact the Fury family literally has their reputation on the line for this. Guess we just gotta have to wait and see. But here's my question for you. What's your take on the fixing accusations for the upcoming fight?